Okay, so joining me now are candidates for President of the Union of Brunel Students. We've got Martin Zarenika, Tom Scott and Yasir Bhatti. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So, how are you feeling? Because obviously campaigning starts today. How are you feeling so far, Yasir?
I'm feeling quite excellent. I think all of us are prepared, and it's just it's going to come down at 1 o'clock. And then for the next 2 weeks, it will be tough. And we're all ready. We're prepared.
You're looking forward to it,
Definitely.
Tom?
I've fallen in love with my t-shirt, so not wearing it is kind of weird for me right now. So I'm looking forward to wearing it for the next few days.
I hope to see it. And Martin?
Yeah, prepared, ready to go. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so then that leads me into my next question. I'll start with you, Yasir. Why the President of the Union?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who don't know my history. I've held leadership positions since a very young age. And if you look at my history in Brunel itself, I've proven to be successful. I've worked 3 years with the union. I've got my personal society, if we speak about it, to a stage that it has never been in the history of Brunel, with our membership base and everything else like that. And I just want to run for president because I'm aware of the internal and external issues, because I've worked for so long. I'm aware of where the lacks are. I know a lot of people in my 3-year journey have come up to me. They've asked to be represented. There's always been issues. And my job is now to sort them out. And that is why I'm running.
Excellent, thank you. And Tom?
Same question?
Yes, the same question. Why the President of the Union?
Well, I've been a part-time officer for the past 3 years running now. I've been the media chair since 2010. So I'm the longest running chair in almost the union history. So I think it's the right stage for me, now that I'm in my final year, to really go for the union president position, because I feel with the experience that I've gained over the last 3 years, I really think I am in the prime position to take over this role, especially since I've been working directly under the last 2 union presidents, Promise and Priya.
And Martin, the same question. Why the President of the Union?
Well, I've held a number of positions within the Students' Union, and been very diverse. I mean, I'm a student trustee right now. I've been on Student Assembly for 4 years. Even when I was placement, I was committed to ensuring that we represent our students, and that's why I went on Student Assembly. And I just want to make the Students' Union a leading and enabling organisation, so that the potential that the students have is actually voiced, and that's what I want to do as your student president.
Okay. Tom, just picking up on points you raised in your manifesto, you spoke about allowing the union to communicate better with its members. As the incumbent media chair, as you've spoken, you've said 3 years in the role. Is this due to difficulties you've experienced this year and in the other 2 years as media chair, or is this something that's come about just because the role of president is unique in that issue, in enabling better communication?
The way the union communicates is different to it's different to my role as media chair. The union needs to communicate better with its members. Okay, it needs to be communicating not only what it's doing, which is doing very, very well at the moment, but it needs to be communicating why it's doing it. And I think that's an important thing that the union's not doing at the moment. And I think if I became president, I'd be able to communicate these issues and why we're putting on campaigns, why we're putting on events, why we're putting on certain projects for the benefit of our members. And that's why the communication needs to be better, because students need to understand better.
Martin, you see to open that question out. How well do you think the union communicates at the moment?
I definitely think that there could be improvements in the way, in terms of the Students' Union can actually communicate with its members. I mean, even when you think about the democratic process, lots of students don't know exactly what happens within the Students' Union. And another thing I think that's key that we need to address is what we've done, because we've done so much over the last, over our existence, and we need to actually celebrate those successes that we have, so that students can be inspired about running for positions, whether they're postgrads, master students, postgrads, mature students, all types of students. So everyone, I think, needs to know exactly what's going on with the Students' Union, and I do welcome that idea about communication.
Okay, you see.
Similarly, I think these boys have definitely raised the key issues, and I mean this is also an issue in my manifesto. There's a lack of communication from the union towards its members, and then internal issues as well within the university, which needs to be addressed academically. Academic communication between students, lecturers, what is expected, because we have very talented people as well. Now, this is also an important issue. Now, I would like to raise this if we're speaking about communication. It is often the case, and it is factual almost, I'm sure all of you are aware, that very, very talented students, receive grades that they would never imagine. That is because they do not know what is expected of them by lecturers. I mean, this is a consistent, I've had this problem personally with my school as well.
Just to interject on that, is that more of something that the Vice President academic representation would take?
No, definitely he would have to take it on, but the President has to overlook over this as well, because this is an issue. This is definitely an issue. It has to be sorted out. In the end, what happens is, if we have very talented people getting poor grades, at the end of the day, Brunel's ranking for no reason goes down. So, I mean, as a president, I have to also take this on board.
You say in your manifesto, one of the key things that jumped out to me as being one of your ideas is that a timetable gap for Friday prep.
Yes.
So taking that issue and maybe
Yes.
the issue of academic
Yes.
communication,
Yes.
How would you propose to lobby the university as president? What's the best, what in your experience is the best way to lobby on these issues?
Like if we look at Wednesday, now Wednesday after 2 o'clock there is no classes. That is kept specifically for societies. Now, if we are a democratic process, if we have all of these things and we claim to be a multicultural university, then those thousands of people must be represented. And I guarantee you, those 1,000 people, they do stand behind me.
But coming back to how you would do that, I mean, do you think, is it a petition? You know, what is the mode of lobbying? What do you think?
The mode of lobbying depends on the situation and how understanding the people are who make that decision. Now, if it requires a petition can be prepared. There is no issue, but this is something that needs to be done. It was done about 2 years ago, then it stopped. For what reason, I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
Martin, you say in your manifesto that you want to encourage all academic departments to effectively identify and share best practice. But
Absolutely.
as president of the union, how well do you think you're going to be able to persuade the many different schools and departments of the university to achieve the sharing of best practice and knowledge throughout the university?
I mean, that's a very good question. I think what I'm saying right now is that as a students' union, we need to speak with one voice. I mean, a motion was passed in the last student assembly saying that there needs to be a strategic plan for officers when they're coming in. And I think absolutely everyone needs to be on board. So officers, chairs, they need to speak with one voice on this issue. Mm-hmm. Now, how do we do this? Well, first and foremost, we need to empower the people such as course reps to actually stand up and talk to their lecturers as well and say, this is issues that are affecting us. We need to ensure that we have a standard level across all the academic departments. And then once we have a standard level, we can now increase, the levels. So that's what I think we need to do first. We need to empower people such as course reps, and we need to speak with one voice as well. Because if we speak with one voice, then we're more able to, get the work done, as opposed to just the Vice President of Academic Representation. And actually, under the Constitution, the President has to work with the Vice President of Academic Representation to ensure that this happens.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so going back to this point about lobbying, very much, determined by the situation. Let's take this knowledge sharing idea that you've got. How would you lobby?
Well, I think first and foremost, and I guess we need to speak to students as well. I mean, 2 years ago, I was the campaigns chair for the Students' Union, and we were able, me and my committee were able to get at least over 40 students to come and campaign for us as a part of Team CV. And I thought that, if we get people around us who are committed, we can actually do this work, and it's effective as well. So I think, and the other thing, I guess, is that students actually want to get involved with these things, because at the end of the day, every student matters, and it's things that are affecting them on a daily basis. So yeah, I think I would empower people, like normal, ordinary students, to get involved.
Tom Scott, how would you propose to lobby on an issue that maybe crops up during the term of office, or maybe something, let's say accommodation fees deposits? At the moment, a petition is being signed. So how would you lobby on an issue like that?
I think that we need to find a new practical way of lobbying with the university. Petitions, campaigning, they've been done to death, and sometimes they really don't work. We need to find a more practical way of lobbying the university. Even if it's an academic issue, having a trial run in one school, if it works, then it can be extended to the rest of the university. With accommodation, we could trial it for 1 year, and if it doesn't work, then we can go back to normal, or we can try something new. We need a more practical approach on lobbying the university, not just a load of signatures, because sometimes the university don't take that seriously.
Okay, so now, do you have any questions for each other? Because you obviously have sat back and gone through the manifesto as soon as they were released, and kind of done a bit of research on your competitors, as it were. Do you have any questions for each other? Has there anything come to mind that you want to ask each other?
I mean, for both of these guys, I wish them best of luck. I have no questions to ask them. They're both very hardworking. I'm aware of both of them. We all know each other, and I have no questions to ask.
Well, we must be clear at this point, actually, that not all of the presidential candidates could join us today, and they all have valid reasons for doing so. And that's Mina Tariq and B. Lopez. So we will hopefully get some questions out to them and their responses and put them on the website alongside this video. So make sure that everyone's aware. Of course, you can always go on the website to have a look at some of the manifestos, and you can also attend the question time events in the coming week. Okay, so you've got the chance now to persuade Brunel students to vote for you. So as succinctly as possible, it's your chance now. Speak to Brunel students. Why should Brunel students vote for you, Martin?
I'm a well-rounded candidate. I've got quite a lot of experience. I've delivered in the past, and I want to ensure that the Students' Union work with students so that every student matters. So that, can I start again?
Yeah. Just take a few seconds.
All right, okay. I want to work with, okay. I'm running to be your student president because I believe every student matters. I want to face and tackle some of the issues that affect you. I've got a good record, I'm a well-rounded candidate, and I absolutely care. I want to ensure that we become a leading institution and we enable our members to do that which their potential dictates that they can do, and that is excellence. Thank you.
Tom Scott, why should Brunel students vote for you?
The union needs to work better with its members. It needs to not be biased, and it needs to not focus on just smaller issues. It needs to look at the wider pictures. If I was elected the union president, I'd really work hard with its members and with the university staff on lobbying the important issues for Brunel students. So vote for me, because if my track record is anything, it proves that I can deliver.
And Yasir, why should Brunel students vote for you?
I mean, in 15 seconds I'll try my best to cover this. But likewise, I mean, I've served for 3 years, delivered, achieved a lot, my work is known. But what I'd like to say is I'm not someone who goes there and promises change just like that. I'm more of a policy maker. I understand things that way, like an economist does. And the proposed policies that I have, they require no money from the union. They require almost nothing. They only require management and a few laws to be passed. And with this, everything in my manifesto will, if implemented, definitely will lead to the rating of Brunel to increase. Now, if you are a student, I mean, in 15 years you want, or in 5 years you want your degree to be worth more, just like you buy a piece of land. You don't buy a piece of land for its price to depreciate, you buy it for the price to appreciate. Similarly, with my policies, I guarantee you, I've done my research, the homework is done. What is represented, I'm voicing a lot of people, and you are also watching right now. And that's why I would like to ask you to vote for me and everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much, guys.
Cheers, George.